There's competing choices.
Workers will have the right to appeal if the decision doesn't go their way and apply again 12 months later. It might make life tough for some firms, but being open-minded about the options could well be the way to attract the best staff. Emma Birchley, Sky News, Norwich.
Well, joining me here in the studio, Syd Nadim, the Chief Executive and founder of the digital marketing company Clockwitch, which has a flexible working policy. Syd, thanks for coming in. Tell us about your company and how you operate it in this flexible manner for your staff.
Oh yeah, well, Clock is a digital agency who design and build websites, ordering websites for leading brands in the media, entertainment and leisure sector. We also started a company called SwipeStation, which has a fewer staff, but both companies embrace work-life balance policies since our inception as a Prince's Trust startup in 1997.
And what does that actually mean? If somebody comes to you and says, I want to only work 2 hours that day, 5 hours that day, you embrace it, do you?
Absolutely. In fact, we've detailed all those things in our little book of benefits, which is fantastic, available on our website on clock.co.uk. You can show that to your bosses.
Yeah.
It's basically we finish at 2 on a Friday, every week, which is a fantastic benefit to staff. You've got to turn up between 11 and 2 to make it count as part of your day. But we offer staff the ability to work from home when they want to. And what we find is that with flexibility comes responsibility. So there's a lot of communication that goes on, and people are talking about how they can be part of the solution.
But surely, Syd, if you're doing that few hours, the productivity goes down. You could be getting more. Your business could be more successful if you have the longer hours, surely.
Well, I think we find that to get the project done, it takes up as much time as you give it. And actually people are much more productive when they're happy and invigorated. And it means that we can attract and retain the very, very best staff. So it's a real benefit for everybody.
I mean, you are working with new technology, so you know how to embrace the new technology and make them work for you. Not all companies have that advantage, do they?
Sure, but there's lots of free things out there. So if you want to do like Google Hangouts, for instance, which is some of the things that we use, you can get in touch with people and speak to people live, and that's free. You can use tools to measure and log time and productivity. So there's lots of stuff that's out there, and I think actually a lot of staff are organising themselves anyway, sometimes without their bosses knowing, because does everyone need to be there at 9 o'clock, or can you flex it? I think it's an opportunity for businesses to embrace change and to really show their staff they genuinely care about them.
Do you think, Syd, that there is still a bit of a cynical attitude to at-home working? I know different from flexi working, but at-home working, that people are not putting in the hours that they would if they were in an office?
I think there is that perception, but I think trust is engendered rather than earned. And I think if we give people trust and responsibility, generally they become trustworthy and responsible. And I'd implore businesses to embrace these changes, because actually it's a benefit to them and their staff. But ultimately their businesses and to their clients as well, and it's a wonderful thing, and should be embraced.
Have you ever had a staff member come to you and say, I don't want flexi time, I want to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday?
Yeah, and they can, and that's the thing. Like, this is it. It's not one size fits all. Give people the opportunity to try and find the things that work for them. So actually, we find that people generally get into a bit of a routine. So whilst it's 11 till 2, actually some people turn up at 10. Some people come at 7 because that works for them. And we provide an environment for those people to be brilliant and to work in that within that flexibility, but with some good measures and metrics in place.
Do you reward those that put in the more hours, even though it's flexible hours? You look at somebody who is working for you and say, actually, do you know what? They are putting in 12-hour days. They can get the pay rise.
Well, inevitably, within any business, you have, within good businesses, we have a really good clock, we have a really good placement program. We do have a good placement program, but review program.
Right.
And so we evaluate performance regularly, and those people who put in extra hours, but not just extra hours, extra skill and dedication. They're going to get promotion more than others, but not everybody has to do that. And at every level, we want people to have that flexibility still.
So clearly, you speak very well about this form of working. Have you seen, since you started Clockwitch and your new companies, that more and more people that you are dealing with in the workplace, in other businesses, are taking this approach? I
think so. I think there's, in the digital agency world, there's a lot of flexibility, new ways of thinking. And I think that attitude, whatever our CTO Paul Serby said, whatever we're doing right now, there's probably a better way of doing it. And so in our industry, people are challenging things and doing things differently. As we saw, in the parcel force, business models are being challenged all the time. We have to adapt. And so in our industry, they're very much so. But I think that's happening more and more in other industries as well, and I welcome the change.
Syd, thank you for coming in. Syd Nadim, thank you.